At 93 years old, Hollywood legend Clint Eastwood has been spotted on the set of what insiders say is likely his final film, appearing frail and almost unrecognizable to some fans after years away from the public eye. Yet as he prepares to say farewell after over 60 years acting and directing, Eastwood remains as passionate as ever leading production. Join Factsverse as we explore how Eastwood's swan song film highlights the commitment and vigor that made him a true icon. Clint makes a rare public appearance. The legendary actor-director Clint Eastwood has stepped back into the spotlight, appearing in public recently for the first time in years. The 93-year-old icon was spotted in Savannah, Georgia, on the set of his latest film project, Juror No. 2, slated to be his cinematic swan song. Looking almost unrecognizable to some fans after such a long absence from public life, Eastwood seemed fully engaged while directing scenes for the production. With his iconic steely gaze, he intently watched takes on a monitor, wearing tan trousers and a gray buffalo jacket, large headphones fixed over his hair. He may move slower these days, but eyewitnesses say Eastwood continues to lead his productions with the same vim and focus as ever. According to reports, he smiled warmly when the cameras weren't rolling and affectionately spoke with the A-list cast. He offered gentle directions to stars like Nicholas Hoult and Toni Collette, patting shoulders to underscore points. For a man nearing his mid-90s, his vitality and dedication have impressed many, despite natural signs of advanced age. Hoult himself told sources how delightful and disarming it was to work with such a legendary figure who retains a youthful spark. And while some Hollywood legends might simply lend their name to projects at Eastwood's age, it's clear he remains hands-on, running every aspect of filming. So while Eastwood's last major public appearance was at the 2020 Academy Awards, he certainly hasn't just been enjoying a quiet retirement since then. Rather, it seems the iconic star has been quietly putting the finishing touches on what insiders expect will be his cinematic farewell. And if the passion still evident on the set of Juror No. 2 is any indication, Eastwood still has some filmmaking magic left up his sleeve. What we know about the project. While little is yet known about the plot details of Juror No. 2, insiders have shared that the film focuses on a trial with a major moral quandary for the protagonist. Eastwood directs and does not appear on screen, instead reuniting with longtime collaborators at both Warner Brothers and Malpaso Productions. Nicholas Hoult stars as Justin Kemp, a family man who serves as a juror on a high-profile murder case. But as the trial unfolds, Kemp grapples with his own devastating secret. His reckless driving is what caused the victim's death in the first place. The film reportedly explores whether Kemp will ultimately reveal the truth to save the wrongful defendant, even at great personal cost. Joining Hoult is an impressive roster of stars like Toni Collette as the tenacious prosecutor, trying the seemingly open and shut case. Insiders say her character will spar with Kemp as he begins to unravel under the weight of his guilt. Australian newcomer Gabriel Basso has also been cast as the defendant, described as a shy video game designer maintaining his innocence. Veteran Kiefer Sutherland comes on board to play the shrewd defense attorney with a trick or two still up his sleeves. And Zoe Deutsch is Kemp's loving wife, who notices troubling changes in her husband as the trial proceeds. Her character will reportedly struggle to support Kemp as past secrets threaten their peaceful family life. All of this bodes well for Eastwood, who has called Juror No. 2 his cinematic swan song after over 60 years directing and acting. While the film legend has retired before, most expect Eastwood will finally hang up his camera after this production wraps. But if his intricate, secretive planning ahead of its filming is any clue, it seems Eastwood has plans to leave audiences stunned by his final act. Looking back at his career. At 93, Clint has enjoyed one of the most acclaimed and prolific careers in Hollywood history. Originally finding fame as an actor, he soon revealed impressive talents both in front of and behind the camera across 6 decades of filmmaking. He rose to prominence for his roles in spaghetti westerns of the 60s. His swarthy good looks and detached magnetism made him an ideal fit for the morally ambiguous cowboy anti-heroes dominating the genre. His steely, calm, and quick-on-the-draw style earned him the nickname The Man with No Name, as well as international fame. But Eastwood demonstrated ambition beyond acting early on. After humble starts directing episodes of his TV show Rawhide, he made a transition to feature films in 1971 with the psychological thriller Play Misty for Me. And just a few years later, Eastwood pulled off the feat of delivering both one of that decade's iconic action movies, Dirty Harry, as well as one of its key revisionist westerns, The Outlaw Josie Wales, as both leading man and director. Observers have noted that Eastwood never seemed content staying confined within any genre for very long. He's alternated between acting in and directing cop thrillers, war movies, romantic dramas, biopics of jazz musicians, and more. Highlights across the 70s and 80s included Escape from Alcatraz, Sudden Impact, Pale Rider, and Bird, each garnering Eastwood new critical plaudits. In 1992, he silenced any naysayers by delivering Unforgiven. The dark, brooding Western earned Eastwood 2 Oscars and revived the genre in Hollywood for years after. He soon followed it up with crowd-pleasing hit In the Line of Fire, proving his talents in front of audiences had not diminished with age either. And rather than wind down his output in subsequent decades, Eastwood expanded it. Lauded films like $1 Million Baby, Letters from Iwo Jima, American Sniper, Sully, and Richard Jewell were delivered in quick succession. Approaching his 90s, the film legend even continued straddling both sides of the camera, with acting appearances in Gran Torino, The Mule, and Cry Macho keeping him connected to loyal fans worldwide. So while rumors swirl that the upcoming Juror No. 2 will close the book on Eastwood's long career, his intimidating legacy across both acting and directing is already firmly cemented in Hollywood history. Reports suggest Eastwood follows an extremely regimented lifestyle optimized for longevity and productivity. He wakes up early for an intense workout, followed by a simple breakfast of steel-cut oats. He's known to avoid alcohol and caffeine entirely. Insiders say this almost monastic discipline has allowed him to avoid any major health issues so far. They also note he remains as sharp and creative as ever, juggling complex directorial duties with his usual confidence. And while his advancing age has not slowed the legendary Eastwood yet, he has previously hinted that fading audience enthusiasm eventually could. Sources close to Eastwood report he's privately stated that consistent box office failure and poor reviews might be the only development that would make him walk away. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think this will be Clint Eastwood's last movie? Let us know in the comments section below.